Fros are kind of in the same category.
All right,
as
so
dreadlocks, right?
Do you think this is an afro?
What?
Would you say you have an afro?
No.
Yes.
I'll probably think I'm an idiot.
No.
That's
I'm out here for you.
That's a little mini fro.
I'm an idiot.
Bruh, time out. When Kobe had the fro and niggas was calling him Froby, he had something like this type shit. You feel me? The size might have been a little longer, but it's a fro type shit.
No.
This is not a fro. This is something else. But this is like more. This is like fro-ish. This is getting fro-y.
I'm out here for you.
Okay, black men. Let's get to it, man.
Hey, my name is Andrew. My relationship with black people is, as I've moved to more bigger cities, I've gotten to have more diverse people in my life. I have a diverse friend group. I also have hip hop danced. I've been on 3 different hip hop dance crews, and obviously black people are really integral to hip hop, and so I've had a lot of experience with black people through that.
Hi, my name is Joe. I'm 25. My relationship to black people has mostly been international since I grew up overseas. So it's actually primarily been just Africans instead of African Americans.
Hello, my name is Oscar, and my relationship to black people in general is black women. I don't really have relationships with black men or men in general, so this experience is going to be exciting to kind of put my opinion and see what I know versus what I don't know.
Okay, let's get into this.
Let's get into
it. A Pew Research poll revealed that 18% of newlyweds with one black partner were in an interracial marriage. So out of this group of 10 men, how many do you think are or have been in an interracial relationship?
Have been? Every single one. I'm just like, that's my guess. Are or have been? Every single one. Every single one. Say that right now.
Who likes white people here?
I'm not around men, so this is kind of like my first experience. I've never even been in a room with this man.
And interracial doesn't just mean white. It just means not. It just means not black. So
Any men before, so
I'm gonna say you have just the cardigan. It's
wow.
Like you've been in one. Something.
I'm not mad at it.
Seems like
I'm not mad at it.
That's really nice. You look really friendly, and not that the rest of you don't. Jeez, it's so hard not to say something I'm gonna accidentally find offensive.
But what is the association with dressing friendly to an interracial relationship? What is the association?
I'm just basing it I think you would like white women. I don't know.
You were really friendly to me when I first walked in. You seemed someone very comfortable approaching white people, so I'll say you've been in one.
the funny thing with you two, I don't know why it is, but I feel like one of you has, one of you hasn't.
I love this.
I'm gonna go with you.
You're smiling big right now. You like white people. You've been in one.
I feel like you like white women.
That's great.
So I'm gonna say no, yes, no, yes, no, yes,
Yes.
yes,
No.
no, yes, no.
Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
If interracial only means that if you've been with a white woman, then I'll say 2. I'll say 2. But if interracial just means anything that's not black, every single one. Every single one.
Yes, 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 and yes.
Let me see.
If you are or
Wait, hold on. Let me guess.
Yes,
Let me get my
yes.
guess in. Out of these, just based off the look, who's been with a white woman? 1, 2, 3.
And yes.
That's my guess. 3 out of
If
10.
you are or have been in an interracial relationship, please step forward and tell your story in 3, 2.
Oh, he's about to step forward.
Okay, y'all misled me with those marriage statistics. Y'all misled me.
No, I'll take it.
Oh wow. Okay. I love that.
So, I mean, environmentally speaking wise, I went to like a predominantly white school. So statistically, like, I was more likely to date someone who is white than isn't.
So, I mean, I've been in a relationship with my Hispanic girlfriend for about 5 years now. And so I've never been intentionally saying,
Right. Yeah, if it was just non-black, it's every single nigga. So I was assuming it was only not white or only white, but if it's just not black, every single nigga. That's a
I want to
no-brainer.
be in an interracial relationship. It just happened.
All of my serious relationships have been interracial, but they've all been with minorities. So like I've never had a serious relationship with a white girl. And I've dated white girls, but I feel like when I have, they don't pick up on certain microaggressions when we're out that like a person of color would or a minority would. I got pulled over by the cops with a white girl in the passenger seat that I was dating, and my ID was in the back seat, and I wanted her to grab it instead of me. And she's like, why don't you just grab it yourself? And she didn't really understand why that might be be uncomfortable for me.
I think for me, when I'm like in my interracial relationship, I've been in like one with one white girl, and it's the stares from like I get from like other people that make me like so uncomfortable.
I'm gay too, so you're not alone. But I think in our community, it's just more common to date.
You got
like,
white
outside
ass
of your
teeth,
race,
man.
especially with
God
the black
bless
culture
you.
and accepting queerness and stuff.
I would love to
A
have
lot
white
of
ass
black
teeth like
men
that.
who also date men tend to like have to venture out or find themselves venturing out for that community.
That was easy though. That was a
According to
layup.
the U.S. Census, 46% of black children are living only with their mother, compared to 17% of white children.
That's so terrible.
Out of this sample size, how many
Bro, we're cooked, bro. That sucks. I hate that for us.
do you think grew up in a house with both parents?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, this one's actually a little bit harder. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Man, this is hard. It's kind of hard to point to someone and say, hey, I think your father wasn't around. Like, that's a
wicked.
pretty rough thing to do. All right, how many people's parents are international? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna say you. I think that's a safer one to say, that maybe all had your parents around.
I think every person's a coin flip, literally with a statistic, but also just with the sense of like, everyone here seems like they're really well put together individuals, and I think that can come from both a hardship, but also from an advantageous place. So I think the way I'm gonna decide this is how emotional this question seems to be making you. I believe you both, I believe you have, and I believe you last two as well.
To be honest, I'm gonna just assume everybody because I can't even like give a reason and base.
I
it
love
off
that.
of-
I'm gonna
I
say
hope
no.
they're right. I love
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Everybody but him? What is it about him that just gives no father? Don't be singling me out on these shows. Don't do that. You gotta give me a good reason. Like, what about me gives no father?
Why no right off the bat? Just wondering.
Obviously for me. What's your name, man?
Charles.
Charles, I like your style. I think it's really good. I feel like it is a little bit more dressed down, and I guess that was kind of the
the
more
fuck up,
casual
bitch.
style of it.
If you grew up in a house with both parents, please step forward in 3, 2, 1.
You almost got it.
Yeah. That was making me feel a little better.
I grew with my mom my whole life. My dad was like sort of in and out. Like he was there. He lived in a different city most of my life, so he left when I was like 3.
Culturally speaking, coming from Africa, divorce isn't really a thing. Like I don't think we've even. I don't know anyone in my life.
It's frowned
like,
upon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you,
very
don't,
frowned upon.
you don't divorce. So the idea of like not being there for your family is just incomprehensible.
Me, myself, I'm a father. I'm in the military, so my son lives in Texas while I live in San Diego. Me and his mom broke up before I joined the Navy, but I'm there as much as I can be, and I'm actually in a custody battle to get my son. But I know there's outside perceptions like, oh, he's a deadbeat and everything like that. But I prove it time and time again that I'm there for my son. It's just unfortunate that stereotype's a thing.
I think when it comes to the stereotype of men that didn't grow up with a father, it's they didn't know their father. For me personally, I knew my dad when I was growing up. My parents divorced when I was in about elementary school. After that, I didn't really have contact with my dad. So my mom has always been that rock for me, my superhero. I mean, I'm definitely a mama's boy. When it comes to my mom, I call her on Father's Days too, just to say, hey, thank you so much for taking care of me.
I mean, I definitely grew up with both parents, so I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of family who didn't grow up with both parents, so I mean, I just got lucky. God is literally good. I'm abundantly blessed, man. Like, you know, I'm grateful. Like, there's not much to really say. I didn't have nothing to do with that decision. Like, if my dad just decided, like, you know what, I'm good off this. Like, I would have had no say. Like, so I'm just blessed. Like, there's nothing else for me to really say.
Has any of this surprised you? Maybe you should try thinking about other people's perspectives.
Black men would spend time. In 2001, the Sentencing Project estimated that 1 in 3 black men would spend time in prison.
That's not even jail. Prison. That's scary as fuck, bro. That's scary as fuck. 1 in 3 would spend time in prison. So what is like because prison is like a felony or like some type of extended period of time. So what is just jail? Like you just going to jail, you just end up like that's crazy.
By 2021, 1 in 55 black men were incarcerated. Okay. Can you reflect on what you know about the relationship between the black community and the police?
Oh, the police.
Damn.
I don't, just in general, the police. I already know, like, they're racist, they're pigs. Like, it takes one.
Take off the cape. Take off the cape. Like, it's, take off the cape. Like, you don't have to be this guy right now. You can take off the cape. I don't feel like that's you.
Well, no, there's one bad cop, but those good cops aren't going to do anything about it, so it makes them all equally bad.
Out of this group, how many people do you think have been arrested?
Whoa.
Wake up with delicious O.
I don't know that many people that have been arrested. One thing I can go off of is maybe like stereotypes. What I feel like maybe is, and this is not a reflection on y'all, but more a reflection on kind of the American culture and policemen in general. I would guess Americans haven't always been great about dreadlocks and like treating that as like, you know, I think those get judged more. So I can see if you have dreadlocks that might make you more likely to like be targeted by the police. I think it's maybe going to be like one or two of you, something like that.
Maybe I'm saying 0 is super ignorant. I don't know, but I'm going to say no one.
I can see police targeting you.
Damn, bitch.
Yeah. You're a big, muscly dude. You have dreadlocks. You're certainly someone that could be seen as an intimidating threat. So I could see you being targeted, and I'm sorry if that does happen to you. And then, no, I'm gonna say just one. So, no, I feel like fros are kind of in the same category as dreadlocks, right? Actually, I don't know.
This is an afro.
What?
This is an afro to you.
No, actually, I didn't really see the taper on the sides. It's not really an afro. It's like, what the fuck even really is this though? Like, what is this? Like, okay, if you want to say it's not an afro, cool. What the fuck is it though? What the fuck is it?
I'm not trying to be like.
No. Sorry. I guess it's like a. It's obviously not like a fro, right?
Yeah.
It's like...
Would you say you have an afro?
No.
I probably think I'm an idiot.
No. That's fine.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed about the fro thing. Obviously, I don't have black hair myself. I don't have to worry about or think about black hairstyles that much, but still, that's pretty embarrassing. I think that shows a pretty big knowledge gap there.
I'm gonna go high here and just slick the.
I would trade all my knowledge on the fucking irrelevant shit that I know about black culture, like fucking like soul food and all that shit, for fucking financial information. I will trade that and I'll give back to the hood. You feel me? I'll trade it in a second. I'll trade it for the credit score, for the financial situation, or just for the financial information. So you don't gotta feel too embarrassed. That's not something that you really need to know like that. So.
A large amount, because I feel like there's gonna be more men than there are less that this has happened to. So yes. I'd probably say all of you.
Okay. No. Yes. No.
If you have been arrested, please step forward and share your story in 3.
I think it's gonna be at least one person.
1.
Well, hey, I was right that it was only 1 or 2. I just got the 2 wrong.
The afro every time.
It was the afro. No, real talk. What is this though? Like a taper? Like this is definitely not an afro. Is that not like an afro, bro? I don't know. Like this is for sure. Like this is like a little mini fro taper. Like, you know, just because the sides is not like a, you know, the 80s afro, but it's like a fro-ish, it's fro type.
Man, so y'all were like actually in jail.
Well, just arrested.
Mine has an asterisk. I was at a Dave Matthews Band concert that I had no business being at. I don't even listen to Dave Matthews, but I grew up in like a predominantly white area, and it was what my friends listened to. Most of my friends were white. So we went to tailgate and drank. We did the whole like steal your
What is this?
mom's vodka. You fill up your water bottle, hop on a train. We went to Philly. So we were in the parking lot, and we were all drinking around our cars, me, bunch of white dudes, and there are cops sort of like making sure that people filter into the concert aren't getting too rowdy. And he like splits the crowd, goes straight for me out of all my white friends, grabs my water bottle, sniffs it, pours it out, and he writes me a ticket that counts as an arrest. It was a citation. He couldn't leave his post, so he couldn't cuff me and put me in his car. but the citation counted as an arrest.
But the first time I got arrested, I think I was 15. And I had a driver's permit, but I didn't have like a license. And so I got arrested. The cops pulled me over. They didn't think it was my car, that it was stolen, so that was the whole thing. It was the car my parents gave me, and then they detained me and everything, took me to the police station, had me in a holding cell and stuff. Normally for that, you just get like cited, or they'll call your parents, so pick you up. But I was like in cuffs,
fully booked.
and in the fingerprints and all that.
Wow.
I've never had a negative interaction with a police officer before. I think I've always had great interactions. Most of my gym friends and buddies that I work out with are all police officers. Never had negative intonation. I think anytime, and this is my perspective, I'm not gonna put one negative interaction with one person as a blanket on everything, because I think that could be applied to any situation.
I haven't been arrested, but I am also very conscious of like my parents' like very intentional effort to like raise their children in a way that like prevents that, right? And I'm not saying this from like a positive standpoint, like these locks are a very new development, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have never happened as a kid. Like don't wear hoodies, don't wear your pants a certain way, right? So it's like by very meticulous kind of like child rearing that I contribute to not having like being arrested by the police, but even that granted, like I've had many situations with the police. And I think that like the fact that like black parents have to be so intentional about like of helping the child avoid like the penal system, right? And so like the risk is just too high to ignore or to deem as like a inconsequential thing.
I definitely understand you guys' perspective.
I'm sorry, I couldn't, that nigga was putting me to sleep. Like not that what he was saying was boring, and just his voice is so like hypnotizing, like that shit was putting me to sleep.
Granted, like I've had many situations with the police, and I think that like the fact that like black parents have to be so intentional about like of helping the child avoid like the penal system, right? And so like the risk is just too high to ignore or to deem as like a inconsequential thing.
I definitely understand you guys' perspective, but I also very much share that same perspective. But I think a better thing to say is like the policing system. I don't think. I personally actually.
Bro, if that's what you say, stand on it, bro. Like, you feel me?
System. I don't think. I don't think.
If you want to say fuck the police, because what you said made sense though. You said they may not be all bad, but the ones who are good don't do anything about the ones who are bad. So fuck them all. I'm like, I don't really agree, but like I kind of respect it. Like, all right, cool. Like that's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Like I personally, actually, my experiences have been pretty positive. Like I've been stopped by the police. I'm from New York. I've jumped a turnstile, and the police have stopped me. But I was going to school, and he was like, "Oh, you're a student. Just don't do that again." They've been good cops in my life, but I think they're good people who become cops. Yes. And I think that's a better statement.
And I think it's important to note that in other countries, policing is like for wellness, and I think a lot of you guys' critiques is like policing is militarization here, or like mass incarceration. But a lot of places, police are to like keep people safe, and I think ours is like for order.
If I was in that circle, those two would have been the last people that I would have ever to have gotten an arrest or an arrest record. So I think that was what was most surprising, and the lack of others who stepped up.
What percentage of black men do you think have experienced being called the N-word by someone who's not black?
I'd say pretty high.
I want to say like 90% probably
100
on the poll.
According to this study, the percentage of black adults who have been called the N-word or other racial slurs by a non-black person is 51%.
Like hard R or non-hard, because that's two different situations. Hard R, I don't know if I've ever been called the hard, maybe once or twice I've been called hard R. Maybe. But just nigga, I get called nigga every day. Nigga this, nigga that, nigga cannot bar French fry. Not the first thing I thought was, he said nigga, how the fuck is a nigga gonna borrow a French fry? Nigga, are you gonna give it back?
Oh, that's lower than I thought. Okay, that's good.
That's good.
But
or better, not good at all. Wow.
Out of our group, how many do you think have been called the N-word by a non-black person?
All of them, if it's a not hard
I know
R.
a lot of y'all have more African descent, but still a lot of y'all grew up in America, so that wouldn't necessarily change that. I'll probably try to stick more to the statistic you told me of 50%, but I honestly think it could happen to anyone, so I really have nothing to go off of here.
I would honestly say all of you guys again, not to like give the easy answer, but I feel like it's, again, more common. And I'm applying my experience with the word faggot towards, that. Like, I've heard things called, oh, that's gay, or something like that, yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, 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 no, no.
I feel like if not everyone, about 8 or 9 people here could probably point to a place in their life where they can remember being called a racial slur. I think I'm going all 10.
Now, if you've been called the N-word by a non-black person, please step forward and share your story in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa. Okay, so I was more right with my initially high estimate, yeah.
We were actually talking about this earlier, and I let my friends call me the N-word, and my friends are not black, so like for me it's not like not that crazy thing.
Yo, that nigga like shocked. He said, "What?"
They're not white, so don't get it.
Right. They're not. Right. So I'm saying they're not white. They're not white. They're just not black. So
But like for me, like my like I guess my rule around the N-word is a little different than I think a lot of other people. And so like my friends are Hispanic, and so like for me, and I also grew up like I'm from New York, I'm from the Bronx, and so I grew up around.
Yeah, it's a totally different ball game in the Bronx.
Like Puerto Rican and Dominicans, and so for me, it's like,
niggas be saying that shit all the time. Niggas be saying nigga more than me, Dominican and Puerto Rican and shit. I'm like I don't really care because I grew up around it so much. But I guess when I think about it, like I was talking to this girl one time, and she was Puerto Rican, right? And she was like, "How do you feel about me saying nigga?" And I was like, "I don't think anything about you saying nigga, like, And she was like, "Okay, so what if we're out one day and somebody says, yo, why the fuck you saying nigga? What are you gonna do?" I started dying laughing because that's such not a realistic thing that happens. But I'll be like, yo, chill. Like, don't talk to her like that. But, I mean, if you want to answer the question, like, you can, go ahead. But, I'll just tell them to chill with that energy. But, why the fuck are you saying nigga? Like, I don't know. I guess it's a good question.
we all lived this struggle together. For me to now then push myself and say, oh, I can say this, but you guys can't, is weird, considering we all grew up together, and like we all grew up in the same environment, and we pretty much had the same experiences. At the end of the day, we're all poor, so it was like, why quibble?
That is true. Why the fuck are we caring about who's saying nigga when we're all poor? Like, this is rich talk. Like, oh, okay, now that we've made millions of dollars, okay, I don't think you should say nigga. All right, cool. We can have those talks. We're in poverty talking about why niggas saying nigga. Who gives a fuck, nigga? Fuck you, nigga. I'm broke. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Niggas is dumb as fuck.
Over this one word when there's a lot more to like quibble about.
Yeah, I would say for me, I had a friend, white friend, and we were just hanging out, and he said it, but it wasn't so much malice behind it. It was more of like, the friend type of vibe. And in that moment, I just thought to myself, okay, why is he saying it? Is he saying it to be funny, to be cool, to try to fit in? And it was just one of those things where he's like, oh, well, you said it, why can't I say it? And
why though? Why do you have to try to do what I do? You're not me, so you cannot do what I do.
And in that moment, it started really thinking about, okay, the use of the word, when do we say it? Or do we even have that line of, if you say it, I can say it kind of thing? So at that point, I kind of just stopped saying it around him, because it's like, I don't want to give him that power to be able to just say it so freely.
So I've never been called it. You worded the question in a way to where I'm back here, but I've been called a racial slur. It just wasn't by someone not black. Literally this morning, I was called a colorist, the C word. Rhymes with soon, because they saw a previous video I was on. It was a Nectar video where we were swiping on women, basically, and I swiped on a black woman, and this person was upset that I didn't choose the one black person that I encountered.
3 years ago, I would say, my pro debut in boxing, Rollins, South Carolina, never forget. Coming out with the entrance, walking, the opponent was coming out too, and he had, get that out of here. That one didn't rub me off the wrong way, because the guy was going to sleep regardless.
Whoa! Right. That's crazy as hell.
Like, you know, I'm gonna stay undefeated regardless. But afterwards, again, it doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, I went up to him. He looked at me, he was like, oh, good knockout, boy. I'm like, yeah, keep bringing them on. I'll keep knocking them out. And I kept on moving all the way back. I run into that a lot. I don't mind it. It is what it is. I'll just stay blessed, you know, and keep it
literally. Stay blessed.
In a world where chaos reigns.
Stay blessed. What my man Charles say?
Woman and her faithful companion.
My man Charles, you just ignore them and just pray for him. You feel me? Shout out that nigga Charles, man. Shout out that nigga Charles.
So I'm gonna have Andrew close your eyes, put your head down, and
what?
We gotta take your money. Step forward if you think Andrew, Joe, Oscar knows black men. In 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna give you guys your scores. Let's start with Oscar. Four out of 10.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought it would have been less.
Makes sense, because like
I wouldn't
said,
have stepped forward for him personally.
I don't even know men in general, so this was like just a new experience for me to even understand men and black men specifically. So I feel like that's a fair ranking. It's better than 0.
Joe,
I guess.
After your ranking, we had
Joe knows ball.
7 people step forward.
Whoa.
Joe knows ball.
Yeah, that's pretty validating. I appreciate that. I don't know if I earned that necessarily, but
I'll
yeah,
take it, I guess.
I appreciate it.
Y'all gonna
Joe
champion me.
specifically? Oh, he's invited to the cookout.
And for Andrew, you had 0 people.
Damn, that's tough, but it's all good. It's all good. I think it was the afro. It was the afro thing that niggas ain't really like, but like, what would you call this? Like, I don't like it. What are you calling this? Like a taper? Like a afro taper or?
No, that makes sense.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because I didn't know a certain hairstyle. I think that really got me. I think I said some stuff that revealed that certain lack of knowledge on a lot of these topics, and yeah.
I just feel like it's hard to look at a statistic and attribute that to like a whole group of people and a black experience in general. Like I never pretend to say like, yeah, I know everything about the white experience based off a statistic, because I've never woken up as a white man in my life the same way they've never woken up in my shoes. Like we're all different, even though we're all black men here. We all have different experiences. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm gonna reveal to myself, like I didn't step forward for any of the 3 guys. I feel like it's just, you're never gonna know. That's like what it's like to actually be a black man.
It seems like you have a good idea, or like some kind of idea of like surface level issues that we face, right? But like the why behind it, like why do we have certain relationships with the police, and like
I feel like that's like a weird thing that people do. Like they just nod the fuck out of their head when somebody's talking. Like you just fucking viciously just nod your head. Like just chill,
right?
Bro.
But like the why behind it, like why do we have certain relationships with the police, and like certain racial dynamics that either lean in or out of interracial relationships, right? And that like why is crucial to understanding, I think, like black psychology and like the reasoning behind like the way our culture is and things like that. And so like that deeper why, which we've like grown up understanding, passed on from our parents and our peers, right? That is something that is just, I think, is so unique to the black experience that you may never really understand, you know? But like you can look at the big picture and be like, okay, if I don't know why though, at least I know like what the outcomes are, right?
They should put themselves in more spaces with people that look like us, right? Like, they did well today, just more of that, right? Like, in front of the camera and behind the camera and, like, with no camera, whatever. Just more of a, like, interracial relationships. Not like that, but you know what I mean, yeah.
Who voted for them but didn't vote for me? That's what I need to know.
Well, technically all of us.
I would have voted for you. Now looking back, like, you deserve at least one.